The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Guys, 4 Beer Sports Talk and a whole lot more. This segment is brought to you by Caldera Lab and calderalab.com. For the best in men's skincare, get 20% off by using, or men's skincare, get 20% off by using promo code 1420lab at calderalab.com today. And keep those fine lines and wrinkles and bags in your eyes, everything else off your mug these summer months. It's coming to an end, Dave? Like it's like we were talking last night that like summer, it's done so quick. Before you know it, like it's August 22nd now, and then we're thinking about talking about Thanksgiving. It's only 6 weeks away, whatever it is. Like fuck me.
And next weekend is Labor Day.
Yeah, and then the leaves start falling and blah blah blah, and then before you know it, there's a fucking foot of snow. Like it goes so quick. Like it's just, and then winter seems to just last so long in comparison. Like I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Anyway, speaking of, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, I was just like, this summer was punishing. So down here in Montana, having actually rain most of the day yesterday was a bit of a welcome relief. It's you can only stand so much heat, and then when you got the smoke and everything, like
yeah, no, she's been a tough go up around our neck of the woods for sure. There's no getting around that. Last night, Dave, and I didn't know this was a thing because I definitely do not watch NFL preseason football. I think it goes on too long. I've been to an NFL preseason game once. I think it was in 2000, and it was 2000. It was it was the San Francisco 49ers and San Diego Chargers back then. I don't know who won. Don't care. Don't remember who was even playing on the field that day because I know like the starters played the first round of this first scrimmage game, and that was it. They were gone at the first series, and it didn't much matter. But NFL preseason, I guess there's some record that was beat last night that I was unaware of till you sent me a message earlier on this morning that the Baltimore Ravens they had their 24 game preseason win streak snapped last night by the Washington Commanders. The old Commodores, Lionel Richie and the boys were out there doing some damage. Is this an accomplishment, or is this just a great big bag of who gives a shit?
I myself think it's the latter because no other sport with preseason games, like I don't even know if Baltimore cared, but it's just something. Well, might as well win. We're keeping score. I don't know if Jim Harbaugh, since he's been running this team, has kept starters in a little longer. But I actually on the Twitter machine, or do we got to call it the X machine now?
It's still Twitter. Yeah,
that's what I think too. So on the Twitter machine, I even saw there was one or
I saw
two
you
Baltimore
I saw you for half a second. You sent me that thing with the because it used to come up when things got sent. It was Twitter up until just like a few days ago, and now it came up with an X with I thought you were sending me some porn or something. Like, what the fuck, Dave? I know, like we're friends and all, but like, fuck, that's a little personal.
Yeah, not everything that comes out of my yap is X-rated, right?
You know, it's a little bit odd, Dave sending me porn, but whatever.
I can work blue, but it's not consistently, right? Yeah, a couple Baltimore fans. Well, no wonder the Washington won that game. They had their starters in for 2 quarters. So someone cares because they took the time to thumb out that tweet. But how could anyone possibly care? I think it's a record more of luck and happenstance than anything because nobody plays the starters for a whole game. Like some quarterbacks don't see their first snap until the first game of the regular season.
They might play 3 downs like in the first game just because the sponsors are in the stadium and they want to get the photo ops and stuff. It's like to a man almost. Like I've heard a lot of people as much as I pay attention to preseason football. Like when you turn on whatever sportscast, podcast, whatever it might be, to a man, every sports reporter has basically said the NFL preseason this year might be worse than it's ever been. Whatever. And for people to say that, that's like, oh, like that, because that's a pretty lofty goal to get worse and worse.
To watch the preseason football, like you have to be so into every single aspect of a team because I can understand how someone wants to see how this draft pick's going, how this free agent's going, how that line is working, whatever, and is this kid gonna be able to have a chance to make the team? But that's it. It's not about wins and losses. It's not about scores. And then at the end of the day, number one, did we make it through the preseason with nobody getting hurt?
No injuries.
That's number one. Number two, are we ready to go? Number three, I don't fucking care if we win or lost. Are we ready to go? Like that, like I don't think any organization really cares. And it's kind of funny almost to me that a team might have a 7-year undefeated streak in games that don't matter.
That's got to be tough to do. And then and they're guaranteed there's Raven fan out there who's every year talking about it. Yeah, we haven't lost yet. And then when they win the first 2 games of the regular season, 5-0, and people are like, well, we didn't lose the regular in the preseason either. Shut up. Shut up. Like I guarantee there's guys like that. Whether they're intelligent people or not is it remains to be seen. But I 100% guarantee you, for the last since 2015, if the Ravens go 2-0 to start every season, there is a fan out there who goes, we're 5-0 so far this year. Off. Because football fans can be a bit delusional. Every team, but yeah.
Every team, just fans. But it seems like I do believe I'm totally on your side that NFL fan is the most fanatical of any kind of sport fan base. There's no doubt to that, because there's just so many players, so many moving parts, and there's always something else where you can actually know more than the next guy, because there's just so much to know if you choose to make that your hobby, that you're just gonna figure out every single thing. I saw another thing as that, you just get on the Twitter machine and look for that kind of thing. And it's kind of funny. I love seeing people express their, I don't know what to call it, but once again, some Raven fans. Washington says they didn't care, and they show the one guy doing the gritty, and the kicker for the Commodores, when he kicked that winning field goal, he put the L on his head, and like, I get it. So like anything, you're keeping score, so you care, but the Commodores took some pride in ending that 24-game win streak.
Do you think it's because maybe because I don't know, but I'm just going to make the assumption that the Baltimore, their fan base, their media group, whatever, or maybe the odd player here and there. I can't see a player with any brains would be bragging about a preseason record, when most times the guys who play in the preseason don't make their opening day roster anyways, because they don't want anybody to get hurt, and it's just a way for owners to make money. Is all those preseason games really are. Maybe you get the guy here and there, a little bit of work in, but for anybody to be bragging about their preseason record is probably an idiot. But so maybe it was just like the Commodores players to make those kind of gestures is probably just like, okay, right on, we beat you guys, and we're going to act as dumb as you for the way you acted about winning or about having a preseason undefeated record that goes back to 2015, when a lot of these guys who were playing were in the 6th fucking grade. Think about that. Like, when this thing started, there's guys in the 6th to 8th grade that didn't even know they wanted to be football players, but there was guys, like I said, 2015 is 8 years ago.
Yeah, right? They hadn't signed their they
hadn't even signed their letter of intent to go to college yet.
No, they were just being meatheads in school, right? Just trying to figure out girls in sport. And now you just kicked the winning field goal to end the 24-yard game win streak. Put that on your fucking poster. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, but it just shows, it's boys, right? Because I don't care what we're doing, like on summer games where we're playing bocce or whatever. At times, I won't say it gets like chest pumping, but when you're playing the 21 and it's 19-19, you're happier to
get
win.
A little more. The intensity level picks up a little bit. There's no doubt about that. Like when you do play anything, you want to compete. And that's one thing we've talked about a little bit more so recently with the way minor sports is, with the kids don't even know what team they're playing with half the time. And one day Jasper's playing for this little league team, then he's playing for this team and that team. Like, once you put your uniform on, you get between the lines. You compete. But when it's over and you're losing, you don't really seem to care a whole bunch. When you win, you're like, oh, okay, we won, and then you go home, right? But when you lose, you're like, all right, well, fuck, who cares? Like, it's one of those.
Yeah, I'm not playing for that team again. They probably, when they call me up, I'm not playing for that fucking team. They suck,
there's other ones. Like, there's 24 other teams I can play for. Yeah, it's
winning is better than losing at the end of the day. And when you do keep score, you'd rather be on the other side. But once again, preseason football, those guys could give a fat fuck to all the starters, right? And even the kids trying to make those teams, right? There's like, God, we crushed them, but I didn't make my block. I missed this block. I did that. Like, so they're going home.
And that's
They
all
don't
it
care
is.
about yeah. It's his personal performance in the NFL preseason, because these kids are trying so hard to make the team. And I noticed too, when you speak about trying to make the team, apparently multi-team practices, combined team practices, is not a very good idea.
I saw that today, where there's a bit of a today. Was it today or yesterday? It doesn't matter, but because people can listen to this 4 months down the road, so it doesn't much matter. But yeah, there was a little set to it where there's a scrimmage. There's a little brawl. A brawl turned out with the Philadelphia Eagles, I think it was.
Yeah, it was the Eagles, and I forget who. And then the Pats had one canceled because they had someone get hurt quite badly the other day in the preseason game. But football, so it's just so weird, right? That it's the most demanding of sports, and they're trying to find this balance of protecting the athletes, and then so when they have just practices, their team OB versus D, it's so I won't say dumbed down. It's just such an impetus is put down on like not body contact, because we don't want people to get hurt. And then finally you get to play on somebody where you can actually hit and try and hurt.
Yeah.
I can see how it gets out of control really quickly, and it's a
like
tough.
there's probably what happens, Dave, is that you have two groups who are okay. It's just a scrimmage, and we're gonna hit a little bit, but not a lot of it, and then like one hit gets a little bit heavier, then another one gets a little bit heavier, and then all of a sudden guys are laying guys out when it wasn't supposed to happen. It was supposed to be a controlled scrimmage per se, with a little more contact than you would normally have, because like in like a hockey preseason, there's no hitting at all. You might get some hitting when there's like the rookie games play and stuff like that, but hockey preseason, no hitting. And basketball, I don't know what they do, but I'm surprised they even have those games, because it's not competitive as it is. And baseball can just be a baseball game, right? It's just the way it is. But with football, you have to be able to find a way to get competitive reps, because as the season it jumps on you, and then it's over. Right. So you have to find a way early to get some competitive reps, but not too competitive. And you don't want to hit your own guy, but you have to find a way to take a hit and learn. Like, it's all the stuff that gets in there. So yeah, it's odd. It's probably just boys being boys, and eventually it's just too many factors that get in there, that one guy hit this guy a little bit harder, so I'm going to hit him harder, and so it goes. Right. So yeah, it's crazy that they even do that, but it's a thing. Yeah.
Because once again, like it's someone, a free agent or an unsigned, someone that just got brought to camp that wants to make the mark, and like, fuck, if they don't, like, we're almost out of training time, and no one's told me I'm doing wicked, so I'm gonna leave my mark today. And then you take a run at the wrong guy, and these are alpha males. You take a run at the wrong guy, and he's going to take a run back. Or you get two guys really trying hard to make the team, and I got to make my mark today. Otherwise, I'm going to be looking for work. I'm going back to the warehouse driving a forklift tomorrow, or I can make the travel squad. And so you're gonna hit someone pretty hard, and you run those two bulls into each other, and shit's gonna fly.
You wonder how many Ravens fans had their faces painted yesterday, striving for that 25th win. Hey, I don't even know where the game was. That's how much I followed it. It doesn't matter. But like, let's say if the game was on the road, how many Ravens fans went to the local Hooters with their faces painted, ready for that big win, 25 in a row? Or how many places had the tally board about preseason wins in a row? I guarantee it happened.
Oh, for sure. There was people ripping up 25-0 baby posters. Like, oh, Jesus, I spent $12 on this fucking thing. Like, best preseason team ever. What a dubious accomplishment.
And what have they done in this since 2015?
Well, no, they've won Super Bowls. They've won one since 20. Yeah. It was right around their Super Bowl was, I think, 14 or 15, when with Flacco when they beat the Broncos in the AFC Championship game.
It would have been
And
right
that
around that time. Yeah, it would have been. You're
right
right.
around,
Yeah.
yeah, it would have been right around that time, and so it's been a bit. It's been a bit.
So
So
maybe that Super Bowl win catapulted their 25 win streak. Who knows if it was whatever year that was, and they haven't lost a preseason game until last night. And Lionel Richie and the Commodores stopped the streak last night. I don't know. It's odd. Like I said, like when you sent me this topic, and I was just like, I don't know why anybody would even know that stat, let alone that it's an actual thing. It's crazy.
well, you got to do it down. Like has an MLB team ever gone undefeated in spring training?
I don't even think that they even keep stats because sometimes they just quit games they quit games if it's tied in the ninth. Yeah, fuck it. We're not playing anymore.
Well, yeah, I even remember reading that in the paper as a kid, like when the Blue Jays were in Dunedin when I was a Blue Jays follower,
Yeah.
I would look at their spring training record, not
Tied.
realizing how ridiculously dumb it was to even think about that because split squad games and
guys running in the
limited
outfield and everything
pitch
else happens in
counts
preseason baseball.
Jesus,
Whatever,
yeah.
who cares? Like your starter goes 15 pitches. Like what the hell happened here? Like because as a kid you didn't know, right? Like it's one of those things you had no idea what was going on. But
Yeah, there was no TSN or anything. I'm just reading what the Lethbridge
Yeah.
Herald told me on in the sports pages.
yeah, it's unbelievable how people take preseason sports so seriously when not even management takes it seriously. Like they don't.
No, well, there's a purpose for it. It's to get people game ready and to make cuts. That's
Yeah.
it,
But the teams are basically set.
pretty much.
Like there isn't you aren't getting like maybe the 80th guy might be changing jerseys with somebody else. He's still in the practice roster. Every team is set when they go to camp, no matter what sport it is. Like it has to take because contracts come into play right off the bat. So every team is basically set in stone, no matter what sport it is. What before for next year, not just this year, but next year. Right, unless a major injury happens. So yeah, it's nuts, and yeah, and you can't, and even for like you fantasy dorks, you can't even take any solace in what your preseason guys do there because it doesn't matter.
Oh, absolutely not. Like maybe one of these rookies that wasn't supposed to make a team makes a team. That's called waiver
Or
wire.
moves up in the depth chart or something, whatever it might be.
You bet. Or someone pulls an ACL the second week, and then all of a sudden that now third string running back becomes a second string running back because now they're only one injury away from being the starting running back. It's just there's so many injuries and there's so many intangibles that anyone that might even care about a preseason game, and the fact that the NFL owners are allowed to charge full ticket prices because what do? You gotta buy this or you don't get your season tickets.
Like I said, when we went to that game, we were it was in San Francisco. And we were sitting, we might have been in San Jose for fuck's sakes. And it wasn't cheap. Like it was not, like it was full pop. And this was back in 2000. I can't remember what it was, but I know it was expensive. Because when we went there, we're like, for like $20, whatever. It was like, no, it wasn't $20.
And what barn were you in?
Game. Candlestick.
Oh, so not even the Levi Stadium.
No, it was a Candlestick. Yeah, this was in 2000. It was a Candlestick, yeah. And
okay.
Yeah, we're like, what the fuck? Yeah, like nope, it's full price. Like, okay, now we know. Yeah, because this is pre fucking smartphone, right?
So who was that?
Pre cell phones, really?
So then who was it? Jeff Garcia, or
I think he probably was out there, but he was like I said, he was only out there for one series, and that was it.
And then who would have been for the Chargers? That Bobby Joe something or something like that? It wasn't Phil Rivers yet.
No idea. Like no idea. Junior Seau might have been on the field. I don't even know. I have no idea.
No, he probably was, but nonetheless, for 10 minutes, y'all saw 55 out there.
It's crazy. Fucking NFL guy.
Manti Te'o didn't even have his fake
Manti Te'o didn't have his first boyfriend, girlfriend, online friend, whatever that was. Jesus fuck. Is he still in the league?
No, but he finished with there was something I saw he had a tweet because the hurricane hit Southern California, and I think he was raising funds for something. I got a feeling he might have an off-field job with the Charger franchise, but I don't know. I do not know.
What a fuck! That was messed up on Sunday. Speaks at the hurricane there when like I was waiting for the Hurricane Hillary to hit because like that hasn't happened in California ever, right? And like all of a sudden I turned over to CNN. They said fucking earthquake. And what the fuck? Like that's this like oh this is gonna be a really bad day. This is gonna be it didn't turn out too bad, but like this oh no, this is not good. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, Baja California got Mexico got the brunt of that, but yeah, it was nutty to see
Like
a lot of rain. That's a place that's not getting a lot of rain.
No, anyways. 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 Beer Sports talking a whole lot more. The segment was brought to you by Caldera Lab and calderalab.com. Use promo code 1420lab for the best in men's skincare and get yourself.
You just listened to the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 Beer with Sports talking a whole lot more. We are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Let's get into it.